too many times in life you are not being intentional. And I will say this, sometimes we think that we're being intentional, but we're actually not being intentional. Being intentional looks very different than what some people may think that it looks like. By the end of this video, you will be prepared to actually be intentional in your life, in your actions, and in your goals. So make sure that you stick around and hit that subscribe button if you do end up enjoying. Let's begin. You may have an idea of what you want in your life. You may have a general idea of the type of life that you want to have. But when it comes to the actual specifics of it, you may not actually really know as much as you think that you know. This is a humongous issue because without intentionality, without specification, you really don't know where you're going. You're kind of just moving around randomly and hoping that somehow, some way, something will work out for you. And for some people, yep, that does happen. I'm not going to say that never happens, but for the majority, they are moving through life hoping that something will happen, and they don't even actually know what they're hoping for. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions really quick. What size house do you want? If you're looking at me and you're saying a big one, already off on the wrong foot, okay? You need to be intentional enough. You need to be specific enough where you can tell me the range of the square foot of the house that you want, the amount of land that you want to be on. Do you want it to have a gate? Do you not want it to have a gate? Do you want it to have a long driveway? Do you not want it to have a long driveway? If you're walking and you're going through and you're trying to find a house that you want to pick and you don't know what the heck you're looking for, you will constantly be shown all these houses and constantly be dissatisfied. That is what you're doing to yourself. You're showing yourself all these homes that you actually have no interest in because you cannot give the real estate agent an actual description of what you want. The likelihood of you finding the exact place that you want, it's there, but it's very, very unlikely. And it will most likely take you so much more time than if you just took the time to think about what exactly do I want? Where exactly am I going? If I asked you, how much money do you want to make? And you look at me and you say, I want to make a lot. What's a lot? See, there's a lot of empty space here. So when I'm asking these questions, like, you need to have an exact number. You need to have the exact number. You need to have a SMART goal. You need to be very, very specific. And if you're open to certain things being, I'm not too picky on this, then let that be. But make sure that you have a very clear idea and not just an overview, but an actual in-depth plan. What we're going to do today is we're going to reverse engineer your goals. So first, if you, again, have this overview, let's say that you say, I want to have a job that pays a lot of money, okay? Write that down on a piece of paper, and then we're going to draw an arrow down. You can do this mentally, you can do this in your notes, you can actually write it down, it's all up to you. But the main point is that we get down to the specifics. So you want this high-paying job, right? How much do you actually want to make? For some people, a high-paying job is $75,000. For some people, a high-paying job is $300,000. And for some people, it's even more. So pick what exact pay range do you want to be in? And keep in mind, again, specifics. Keep in mind tax. How much do you actually want to take home? Now that you have this, now that you understand how much you're actually wanting to make a year, now let's think about the type of jobs that you actually want. You don't have to have one very specific job. You can have multiple. But make sure that you have these written down, and make sure when you're picking this job that you're not just picking something that you're like, I probably like that job. Like, if you're sitting here wanting to make $300,000 a year, you have to pick a job that has potential for $300,000 per year. And understand, again, when you're picking these jobs, what are you willing to do for it? Some people, they don't want to go to college to be a doctor. They don't want to spend 8 years studying. So you're not going to want to write that one down if you don't want to spend the time in college in order to get the job. So look at your credentials that you already have and the credentials you're really ready to get and you're willing to spend the time for, or the energy or the money, in order to get to where that goal is. Next, this sounds very similar, but is slightly different, is understanding what are you willing to do once you get the job. So is this something that you're willing to move for? Is it something that you're willing to go to a different state for? You want to make sure that you don't end up writing this whole thing, you get the job, and then you're like, I didn't want to move. I didn't want to have to travel for work. And then you have to travel for work. And the last question that I want you to answer is when. There is no problem setting a time frame for when you want to receive whatever it is, when you want to accomplish whatever it is. So if you want to have this by in the next 2 months, like put that down. Like, I want to have this job making this amount of money within the next 2 months. Put that down. From here, I want you to make a SMART goal. A SMART goal is specific, measurable, obtainable, relevant, and time bound. This will help you to make sure that when you're doing things, when you are making this plan after you've already understood all the specifics, that you are being intentional in your future behavior. Let's say that you have to make a decision between staying in college and maybe taking a gap year. Well, if you already know what you want, you've already made the SMART goal, then you may understand that, okay, not being in college may align with what I want to do. It will bring me closer to what I want to do because I'll have more free time to start my business. Or it could be the opposite, where staying in school is going to be what's best for you because maybe you want to become a lawyer, or you do want to become a doctor, or you want to be an engineer, whatever it may be. Then you will be able to get to that position faster through acquiring your degree. Remember, you will always be lost if you don't know where you're going. You have to put an address in the GPS and it will take you there. Thank you for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, please consider subscribing to my channel. As your online bestie or big sister, I am here for you. So make sure that you leave a comment down below. If you need to say something, if you need to get your heart out, whatever it may be, I'm going to be down there. Thank you so much for making it this far in the video. I really do appreciate it more than you know. So please take care of yourself mentally, physically, and financially. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.